What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be discussing the UFC fight night that Dana White announced on X. He pretty much made a crazy fight night overall. The main card is absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be happening on ABC. It's in June 22nd in Saudi Arabia. The main event is Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev. A huge fight in the middleweight division. A #1 contenders fight in the middleweight division. So whoever wins this fight will get the next shot at the title. That means what is going to be happening with Sean Strickland? I'm going to try to answer that. And also Israel Adesanya. Who will get the next title shot next? Because obviously this is a big time matchup, because this, either Whittaker or Chimaev's next, fight will probably be for the title if either of them win. So what is next for Whittaker, not Whittaker, but what is next for Izzy? What is next for Sean Strickland? I'm going to try and answer that in today's video. And I'm going to go through the other fights in the card, because this is a great stack. Might be one of the greatest fight nights in the history of the UFC, in my honest opinion. Especially of the modern era, in my honest opinion. This is a great overall fight night. And it goes up with the likes of like that fight night that happened between, I think it was the main event of between Tom Aspinall and Alexander Volkov years ago. That was in the UK, if you guys don't remember that one. That was a great fight card. But let's go ahead and get into the main event. Khamzat Chimaev and Robert Whittaker. What a fantastic fight that this is, honestly. This is a great fight. Great matchup that the fans want to see. Robert coming off a victory against Paulo Costa in a very close fight. And obviously Khamzat Chimaev coming off a victory against Kamaru Usman at 185 pounds. Right now, they have Khamzat at number 11 and Robert Whittaker is number 3 in the division. So obviously, for Khamzat Chimaev, this is an opportunity for him to get in the top 5 in the middleweight division. He'd probably be number 3 or number 2 in the division if he gets this victory. My prediction, I'm going to give you guys early predictions for this card. If I had to pick somebody, listen, here is the issue. It's really tough because there's a lot of holes in Khamzat Chimaev's game, and it's the cardio mostly. But his striking, to me, he didn't show too much striking in that fight against Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman was dominating Khamzat Chimaev in the striking department. In the grappling, he did well, obviously, because he's one of the best grapplers in the UFC. But his stamina and his striking was definitely not all that great. And Robert Whittaker has both great cardio and he also has great striking. So if he's not able to get rid of Robert Whittaker early on, what happens to Khamzat Chimaev? I don't know. Right now, I feel like he definitely could get the submission early on. I think he could probably get it in the first round. But if Whittaker can survive that, what is going to happen with Khamzat in later rounds? Because this is going to be a fight night, a 5-round main event. Obviously, I'm assuming that it will be 5 rounds. I mean, obviously it's going to be 5 rounds, but what will happen to Khamzat Chimaev if he doesn't get that early finish? And I think he might just fade away, because right now I'm looking at Khamzat Chimaev and it's like, dude, you were gassed by round 2 in that fight against Kamaru Usman. And Kamaru Usman, to me, won the last 2 rounds because Khamzat used all of his energy in that first round. So maybe he will have a different approach. Maybe he's not going to be as overly aggressive and not trying to get him out in the first round. Maybe he keeps it kind of simple or tries to, pace himself well so he doesn't gas out early on. I'm not going to lie. I don't mind a Robert Whittaker pick here, because Robert Whittaker, to me, is still one of the best middleweights in the division. I still think that he definitely could get big-time victories, especially against a guy like Khamzat Chimaev. I can definitely see Whittaker still hanging with the best of them. And I mean, him against Paulo Costa, he had a great performance against Paulo Costa. But I think I still might go Khamzat Chimaev. I'm not confident in this whatsoever. I'm just going to say this right now. I think Khamzat Chimaev early on still becomes aggressive and he's able to get the takedown, and I think eventually he'll find something. He'll find a submission, and I think he will get a submission in the first round. And I think he's going to submit, because here's the deal. I think that, in my opinion, when it comes to the takedown defense, in comparison from Robert Whittaker and Kamaru Usman has better takedown defense than Robert Whittaker. Even though both guys have great takedown defense, I have to say that Kamaru Usman has better takedown defense. Kamaru Usman got dominated in that first round. Damn near probably, it was a 10-8 in my honest opinion. And he was able to survive. I don't know, I feel like, I don't think he does. I feel like Khamzat Chimaev is going to find something in that first round, and I think he's going to be able to get maybe a rear naked choke or something of that nature. I think he's going to be able to find a submission early on, and I think that's going to be it for Robert Whittaker. Listen, like I said, I could be completely wrong about this. It really all depends on how he feels in that second round too, because let's say, for example, if Khamzat cannot get him, submit him in the first round or knock him out in the first round, how's the second round going to go? How's the third round, fourth round, fifth round going to go? And I think those later rounds, it benefits Robert Whittaker. And honestly, there's definitely a world where I see Robert Whittaker win this fight. And maybe once we get closer to the fight, I might change my prediction. I have to look at some more footage. I got to rewatch that fight between Kamaru Usman and Khamzat Chimaev. I haven't seen that fight since that night. And I have to go ahead and rewatch that. But right now, I'm feeling Khamzat Chimaev just because Khamzat Chimaev's, his takedowns are absolutely, his grappling is fantastic. His submission game is fantastic. I understand that this is a huge step up in competition. Like, he fought Kamaru Usman, and Kamaru Usman to me is like just as good as Robert Whittaker, in my honest opinion. But we'll see how it goes in this fight. I just think that, to me, right now, Robert Whittaker, like, I'm not saying that he's like declining. He's declining a little bit, but he's still a great top tier fighter. But I think his takedown defense is not as good as Kamaru Usman. And I think that he's going to make a mistake on the ground, and he's going to leave himself open for like a rear naked choke, and I think he gets him out in the first round. But that's how I feel right now. Maybe when we get to June, I feel differently. But for now, I'm going to go with Khamzat Chimaev winning by first round submission. But like I said, I'm going to make another video about this in the near future. So, yeah. But let's talk about the co-main event real quick, which is a great fight. Pavlovich versus Volkov. Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. A great co-main event. Right now, I'm picking Pavlovich because Pavlovich is like one of the most dangerous guys in the division. I understand that he just got knocked out by Tom Aspinall, but that is Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight on the planet right now. To me, I think he, like, honestly, listen, John Jones is fantastic, but John Jones, how I'm looking at John Jones in the offseason right now, listen, I mean, he doesn't look like he's in great shape. He looked like he's aged like 20 years. He looks awful right now, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I think Tom Aspinall right now, he has such a complete game. And that's why he was able to, figure out Sergey Pavlovich early on. Especially, literally in the first minute of the fight, he got the knockout. But this is definitely a lot different. Volkov is a fantastic striker, so obviously Pavlovich has to be careful. But I think Pavlovich is going to catch Volkov. I think he's going to catch him in the first round. I think in the first 2 minutes of the fight, it's going to be a knockout victory. Obviously, Pavlovich can't just, swing his hands like he's Francis Ngannou, but I think I think he's going to be able to catch him. I think he's still a very, elite when it comes to the heavyweight division, when it comes to striking. Like, his power is absolutely insane, still absolutely crazy. I don't think he's going to be intimidated by anything Volkov gives out. And I don't think he's going to be I don't think he's going to get rocked to the point like how he was against Tom Aspinall. I think he's going to be able to get the first round finish. This is, I think, a good bounce back fight for Sergey Pavlovich because, obviously him versus Cyril Gane, it sounds fantastic too, but Cyril Gane looks like he's ducking everybody except for fat heavyweights. But that's besides the point. That's neither here nor there. Yeah, I'm going to lean towards Pavlovich getting the first round knockout. Even though I do believe that Volkov, I think he's more technically sound than Pavlovich. I think that, listen, he can't make any mistakes, and I don't think he has the head movement to evade a big Pavlovich strike, and I think he's going to get knocked out in the first round. I could definitely be wrong about this too, because, listen, for sure Volkov can definitely catch him first, and then he could probably put him down and put him out, so I definitely believe that could happen. But I'm going to go with Pavlovich getting a first round knockout. And what's next for Pavlovich? I have no idea. I would like to see him versus Cyril Gane. And maybe if Pavlovich can get Volkov out early, I think he can make it for the France card. And you can have that as the main event. Cyril Gane versus Sergey Pavlovich in the main event of the fight night in France. That sounds fantastic to me. And that will definitely do a lot of big numbers for sure. for the UFC. That sounds great to me, in my honest opinion. Another great fight, by the way. Kelvin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. Not sure who wins this fight. This is a welterweight bout fight. So Gastelum seems like he's going to stay at welterweight. I don't mind a Gastelum victory, but Daniel Rodriguez is pretty solid. I think I might go Kelvin Gastelum in this fight. No reasoning behind it. Have to see some footage. Last time I seen Daniel Rodriguez, he got knocked out by Ian Gary. So that's why I'm kind of just like not really picking him right now. So yeah, I'll say right now maybe Gastelum gets the victory, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Gastelum did just lose to Sean Brady, so obviously not too great for Kelvin Gastelum. But anyway, that's besides the point. Johnny Walker versus Volkan Ozdemir. Not really too sure about that one. I would probably say Johnny Walker, just because he's just a lot younger. Volkan Ozdemir is definitely in his latter years of his career. He's no longer in his prime. Johnny Walker, even though he's not a great fighter, I still think he's obviously going to be a lot faster than Volkan Ozdemir, and I think he might be able to get a victory, maybe by unanimous decision. I don't think he's going to knock him out. I mean, there's definitely a possibility, but overall, I think it's going to be, I think Johnny Walker is going to be able to get the victory. But yeah, overall, great fights for the main card. Obviously, there's also Magomedov versus Poitier, which is the first card of the main card. That's a great fight too. I have to look into those guys to kind of give you guys a complete breakdown for that, because if I give you a prediction, it's literally out of my ass. You know what I mean? I guess since he's a Magomedov is going to win, but I don't know. I will have to look at more footage and watch their last fights, both guys, Poitier and Magomedov. So we'll see how that goes. But that's pretty much it, guys. Great fight night overall, and very excited for it. Arguably, maybe could be the greatest fight night of all time, in my honest opinion. On paper, this is a fantastic fight night. So let me know what you guys think overall. Like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Peace out.